Well, good afternoon, VW Lifers. How's it going out there, everybody? Willie, how you doing today, buddy? Willie, you doing okay? Yes? Willie is doing great. Well, we're hoping y'all are having a good day today. So today I'm sitting here in Gilbert. You know, old Gilbert. Gilbert needs some love. It will get done one of these centuries. It's been sitting here way too long. That's the windshield right there. So, that's always a fun thing. But it needs an interior mechanically. All the work's done. So we'll get there, and stay tuned because we'll be bringing that to you. So today's episode, what I wanted to do is a little bit of what you might need around your shop or your garage, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of just must-have things that make your life a lot better and easier when you're working in your garage / shop with on your car, your Volkswagen, whatever it may be. So stick with us today, and we are going to go over a few must-have items. Here we go. Okay, you've seen this before. It's one of the, if not the most important thing, you got to have a workspace. You got to have a workbench. Here's mine, and it's seen a lot of work. Obviously, if it was had a stainless top on it, boy, it'd be a lot better off than it is. But it shows a lot of wear. But the way I have this one is, it's very simply built. 1/2 inch, 5/8 inch plywood on top. And I built a frame out of 2x4s when they were still 2x4s. And then my legs are 2x4s. And then I just have a brace, you can see, along the back wall. So that gives you support against the wall. So it's definitely very sturdy. But so first and foremost, you're gonna need a workbench. And the good news about like this is you have storage underneath. You can see I have all these tubs with go-to Volkswagen parts on here. It's just kind of taking on a life of its own underneath there. But and obviously you can see here I did an extension. This one over here, this is actually was a particle board. So it's probably better, not as water resistant, so to speak, but that's a good thing. So I'd say number one thing is you need a workbench, an area to work. You got to have light. That's the thing here. Uncle Target hooked me up. I got one bulb out there, though, with some of these wonderful LEDs, and then I have lights here, too. Okay? So lighting is important. You can see the shop. We have fixtures there, and then I have these 8-foot lights there. Those are going up pretty soon, too. So we're going to make like a definite bay work area. No pun intended, bay. Right here with those. So we'll have plenty of lighting. But I think workbench and lights are just, you got to have lights so you can be able to work. Second thing, you can't live without, and that's a good Vise. And this is an oldie moldy here, an old Craftsman. Been around a long time. It's a 5.5 inch. The jaws on it, I can't even get new jaws for it anymore. It's that old. So they're pretty beat up. But you can see I mounted it here with a plate underneath the bench itself and on one of the down legs. So you got a good sturdy spot there. So that's important when you do mount your Vise, that it's in a nice sturdy spot. You want to have some room. You can see I have room around here too to work too. So you got plenty of room on your Vise. So workbench, lighting, and a Vise are just essentials to your getting your work
next
done.
up is here on the bench. I have my quick go-to chemicals. Believe it or not, this is stuff you need all the time.
Simple Green for simple cleaning. This is just a soap and water mix. It's nice. A Windex, spray WD-40, DE1635. Here's my, anytime I'm gonna paint something, I'm gonna rub it down real quick with some mineral spirits or your lacquer cleaner thinner. I got just really quick hit to get sandpaper if I'm gonna just need that. It's just, I cut these already in little pieces so that, if I'm gonna do a little painting, I can just kind of rough it up real quick. chemicals, Scotch-Brite pads, different sizes there. Then let's go through some of the chemicals. Brake parts cleaner, electronic cleaner, carb, starting fluid, WD, some PB blaster penetrant, lithium grease, silicone, oil, you know, any Volkswagen oil and grease are your friends, just everywhere. Rain-X. For the magic of general purpose adhesive cleaner, way better than Goo Gone. Some 415 over the corner. I got my drill bits out here where they're easy to get to. My torque wrenches are easy to get to. You know, I'm always going to use those too. So that just makes things easier. And of course, silver paste. Silver paste. Oh man, it's getting kind of thin. And then that's what I use, aviation gasket for, you know, when I'm sealing up, putting gaskets on and whatnot. So your chemicals are, look, they're easy to get to. They're here. I'm not fumbling for them. They fit underneath here off the bench nicely and far enough out of the way. Over here, I have kind of like my oil. I run 30 weight in the 1776s with the Hyperlube zinc additive by Rizlone. You know, you put half a bottle in per oil change. Wow, that was awesome. ZDDP supplement. Yep, Castrol 30, and I'm gonna tell you a story about that in a second. And then 2050, I run in most everything else. All right, real quick, we partnered up with some folks to help you guys get a little bit better deal on petroleum products, on your chemicals and whatnot. It's our friends at OK Petroleum. OK Petroleum. And we're going to give you the code to get you a 10% discount from these guys. VW Life is going to be your discount to give you 10%. And I'm going to tell you right now, the 10% is on top of prices that you can't beat on most items. It's amazing. I got first of all the 30 weight that I'm running, the Castrol HD. You can't get it anywhere else cheaper, and then you get it for 10% off, even more. So these guys are fantastic. They've got they got all kinds of all kinds of products. That they have. It's amazing. And like I said earlier, you want to make sure in your Volkswagen that you are running 8590 GL4 in your transaxle. Okay? That's what you want to run. All right? Unless you got some fancy new one or something like that. Here's the thing. You can't find this stuff anymore. And it is crazy expensive. So our friends at OK Petroleum, make sure you visit them. And it's going to be VW Life is the code, and we'll put it down here on the bottom. Say VW Life code for OK Petroleum. You got to get this. You got to get oil. It's free shipping, and it's fast. And I just can't get past what these guys are doing for us, or at least for me in our shop, and for you guys now too, because now they're running a 10% off, already good prices. So check them out. Here's I would say the number 4 item, and that is a compressor. And you know, we always want a bigger compressor. I've got this little Craftsman here. It's 150 psi, 27 gallon. It's a 120 volt. Now look. This little guy here it'll run the DA sander pretty good, and not great. It'll, when I'm sandblasting, this little guy, when I'm sandblasting, it's about 10 minutes on and then 10 minutes to refill and back and forth. So, you know, that's always on the list to upgrade the compressor. But any good garage or shop, you're going to need air. You're going to have air for blowing things out, airing up your tires. That's the number one thing there too. And of course, you run a couple of little air tools or something like that. That's another nice thing. But mostly for putting air in your tires, checking your air in your tires, and things like that. That's a must-have. Is a little compressor. It doesn't have to be a big one, anything like that. Ooh, look at that. Nice, very nice. I think number 5 on your list, shop must-haves are good floor jacks. Now here's a big old Daytona. 3-ton, way bigger than anything you need on a Volkswagen. You can get by with a 2-ton or smaller, but this little guy here stays in the shop because it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Then this old Sears guy here, this thing is probably pushing 40 years old. It's heavy. I've had it rebuilt once. Paid too much money to have it rebuilt. But you know what? It's got sentimental value, I guess, if a floor jack can have sentimental value. So you need a good floor jack. I mean, that's just a prerequisite. Don't get one of those little trolley jacks. A good floor jack will serve you well. It's more secure. It's safe. Definitely something you're going to be needing for sure. Even more so probably maybe, I'm trying to do these in order, but a floor jack is definitely a prerequisite. No question about it. Okay. If you're going to have a floor jack, you're going to raise your car up, you got to have something to support it, so when you're underneath it, you're safe. And you got to have jack stands. And preferably you get, they come in pairs. Usually you want something that matches. I've got a couple of cars are sitting up on jack stands right now. So this is what we have right now. We've got a little, these are pretty safe little jack stands here, probably 2 ton. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at that. They're 6,000 pounds. Those are pretty good. I like these with the lock. Pretty beefy. I think these, I don't know, man. These, look at that. That's definitely 2,000 kilograms. I don't know. These are some I picked up at an estate sale one time. They're blue, but I don't think they're hazard or anything like that. But man, they are cool. So, but you definitely are going to need, a good sturdy set of jack stands. Because anytime you get up under a car, you want to be able to protect it. So you're just safety. Just be safe. That's all that is about there. So jack stands are right after floor jack. If you want to raise it up, you got to have something to set it on. One of the funniest things about a shop is you make a mess. There's a lot of trash. You need a good trash can. I know that may seem silly, but if you're over there with some plastic can, it's going to be mangled all the time. Man, hit up some of your Jiffy Lube places or your Quick Lube places. It's getting harder to find these. You can find these old, I guess these are 20, 25 gallon, 30 gallon drums. They're the best trash cans, and they also double for your parts washer. But you may think that's kind of silly to have like a trash can, but you generate a lot of trash in your garage or your shop. And if you throw it in a bag, just a plastic bag or something, that's going to work for you. So get yourself a good trash can, good solid trash can. One of those old metal ones works good too. That would be fine too. You want something that contains, chemical spills or something like that. If you absolutely throw something like that in there. Look over here. Now we're kind of getting into a little bit of nuances, but I think one of the things that is nice to have is a nice grinder or a wire wheel. So I have a wire wheel there, and then a grinder on this side of the wheel, and then a buffer on that end. And these are just little Craftsman bench grinders and this little bench. One of the things when you have something like these is you want to put them in an area that you call the dirty area. You don't want it to where, and I've tried to put it over here as far as I can in the corner, the dirty area. But this is an essential. This is an essential without question. I have a fine brush here and a coarse brush there. And then a long time ago, when Jake was a little bitty guy, he wrote Rust Eater on there. I always thought that was pretty funny. Look at that. There's I dated when I put a new one on there, so coming up, 10 months almost. This is a pretty nice little deal here for polishing things up. I like using that on some items. And then, of course, a grinder. You got to have that too, a grinding wheel. And look, I even got a spare one in the back there I picked up at an estate sale. And of course, your PPE, you got some good mask there, face mask and shields like that. I just can't imagine having a shop, especially working on Volkswagens or a garage where you're trying to wire wheel, everything we do. You want to try to use your original bolts. Those K-Max are great. Clean up the threads, and man, on the heads you can put a little polish on there and keep them from rusting too. It may sound silly, but like right now especially, but here in Texas it gets hot. and you need a nice something to ventilate air because you want to be comfortable when you're working. So I have this big stand-up fan right here. Makes a heck of a racket, but man, does it make some great air. You can just feel that air. Oh, I love it. It makes a lot of noise though, but it is fantastic. It is fantastic. I love having that fan, but look, I got to be comfortable. That's one thing. These little fans right here are more portable. I like these little guys. It's a blue blower. I picked that. I'm not sure where I like these. They're you plug them in. Very handy to have when you can move underneath a car or something like that. And then of course, if you you kind of go crazy, you get you an air conditioner. Yeah, there you go. So there was an air conditioner in here already, and I used it occasionally. And it makes working in the shop really nice. I'll have to admit, but it croaked and there was a big hole there. And I was like, I might go ahead and put one. So Jake and I put one in, last June, 6s, but, and then I found out it makes heat too. It's a heat pump. So ta-da! Very nice. So, but you need a fan. You got to be comfortable. That's for sure. That's just that's a given. All right, let's go in, look at, and talk about, like your tools. You want them easy to get to. And I'm going to be honest with you. Here I went to Harbor Freight. I've gone a couple times, and I keep going, man, I need a new box. But you can see I'm limited for area here, right? That's kind of where I am. So you want a nice toolbox that has everything in it. Easy, Phillips flat slot, Allen head, measuring devices, miscellaneous cutting tools, some flare nuts and Torx. You run into Torx sometimes. Here's all your metric wrenches, and then some of these little specialty ones that you run into. I'm color coordinating mine: blue for 10, orange for 13, green for 17, just for easy success. Here's my standard, and then my all metric. There you go, right there. Make sure you visit us at All Metric Garage, by the way, so you can find some definite nice merchandise out there. Well, hit us up at All Metric Garage, folks. It helps us to buy new equipment, keeps the channel going, and buy you some shirts and some stickers and stuff like that. We sure would appreciate it. Okay. Speaking of All Metric, there you go. And then here's my pliers department and some shears, and then a 1/2-inch drive, metric standard. Just standard items that you need. There's your 17, getting off a big nut, oil pressure switch, things of that nature. Those are always nice. Here is a quarter drive and 3/8 drive. And you got narrow and then standard socket too. Okay. In there as well. And your Torx. Adapters, Allen heads. Do you run into those? I really like using quarter drive stuff on, when I'm tightening stuff, just to over tighten it. It gets into nice areas. Here's my electrical section. These are those super crimpers, factory crimp, strippers, and then the different other pieces there. Grinding tools. Man, what a go-to tool is your little electric Dremel. That's a go-to for so many things. Cut-off wheels, polishing, little grinders, little brushers, that kind of thing. What a nice go-to tool that is. And then here's the specialty tool drawer. Bay and Beetle door scraper installer. I'll explain that one of these days. Snap ring pliers. You need those when you're installing. This little, I think you call these hemostats or something. But this is the best thing in the world to use when you want to crimp off your fuel line so you don't get a leak, because it's not gonna pinch it, cut it. It's not gonna tear it up too bad. So those are really nice. There's the whackers for the wheel nuts, the little hose remover tool, a lock. This is a specialty tool drawer. There's a window install kit, that kind of thing. So those are items there. And then this side box, hammers are always nice to have, different shapes and sizes. Picks, punches, chisels, scrapers, leverage bars, all your drill bits, punches, taps, dies. Those are, boy, howdy. You are running into these sometimes. You're definitely gonna need some taps. Clamps, if you're gluing stuff together. Rivets, if you're doing some riveting, always need some rivets. And then this last drawer weighs 1,000,000 pounds. It's all kinds of different pulleys. There's one of the best things you can have right there. That's the pulley to undo your tie rods and whatnot. I use that big guy there to get off crank pulleys. And then there's the big pulley for pulling off steering wheel, and the pulleys for pulling off drums. So that thing weighs a lot. And then you got your drill and your impact. These are little electric ones, battery operated. Boy, they're so nice to have across the board on those. So I'm really happy. I would always rather have a bigger toolbox. But that's a good thing to have is just kind of give you an idea basic tools you're going to need because you're working on Volkswagens. All right, I'm going to go over a couple of things that probably aren't as essential as some of these other things. A parts washer makes life so much nicer. It just does. It's just a nice piece of equipment to have. I mean, you can get some of these smaller ones at Harbor Freight and whatnot, but you can run whatever you want to run in there. I'm running mineral spirits, 100% mineral spirits, so it seems to be a pretty good cleaner. But I'm very happy with the parts washer. Again, this is the dirty area over here that I talked about earlier. It's unfortunately the nose of Gilbert's over here in that area as well. But it makes things just you try to keep out of the way a little bit. I guess that's a pretty much kind of hits on most of the things. I want you guys to comment because I know I missed some stuff. I'm sure of that today. What I missed as far as in the shop things you need. Workbench, vise, air compressor, a vacuum, a grinder for sure, lighting, your chemicals easy to get to, organize your tools. Shop towels, a nice trash can, jack stands, floor jacks. But I know I'm missing lots of stuff. So please comment and let us know what I missed out on, or hey, that's a great idea. Because we want this to build for everybody, to build a really nice garage / shop for you to work on your Volkswagen. Like right now, it's nice out. It's March and the weather's fine. But man, I'm telling you what, when you're out here in June and July, August, and it's stifling, having a fan is just really, really a nice thing to have. So that's probably a big one. And lighting, of course, the headlights always are big things for us too, of course. So please comment and add some things that hey, what about this? You guys didn't think about that. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. So I'd appreciate that. Thanks for joining us today. If you get a chance, make sure you tell your aunts, tell your uncles, tell everybody you know about VW Life. This is what it's all about, building our community. That's why we're doing this, to help everybody. Look, there's a saying about a rising tide raises all ships. The more we can bring to the community, the more Volkswagens we get on the road, it's just going to be it's just glorious. And so we appreciate you guys for watching and sticking with us. And check us out again on All Metric Garage. And don't forget OK Petroleum for some of your chemical needs. They got everything you need over there. So give those guys a holler. And until next time, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Look at that. That's where it all began, folks. That's the vet. That's me and the vet. That car was awesome.